Hello and welcome to Yerushalmi Berachos Daf Nun Tes. It's exciting. We're transitioning from, in the Ozada print, we're transitioning from the fifth parak to the sixth parak. So we're going to talk about Birchas Kohanim, which is at the end. And then Mircham, hopefully for the next few days, in the sixth parak of Berachos, Gates on Mevarchim, we'll talk about Hilchos Berachos and some of the things that are impacted by the Yerushalmi, which is really, really fascinating. By the way, there's a... okay, you know what? When I finish the parak, I'll get there in a second. Okay, so the Yerushalmi says that when you're walking and everyone's of equal stature, and if there are three people there, you should put the coin in the middle. And we find that Bavli talking about giving respect as well. Even the Yerushalmi here says that a Talmud Chacham goes in the middle, which is the same thing. The Berachos and Yoma, Daf, Lamed, Zion, Amud Aleph says the same thing. And then it says an interesting thing that Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Miyamai lo barakti lefnei kohen. In all my days, I never recited a Berachos Kohen in the presence of a Kohen. Lo anachti Yisrael levarich lefanai, and I never let a Yisrael bench in front of me. Now he was a Levi, so he seems to be saying that a Levi goes before a Kohen. Goes before a Yisrael. Now halacha l'maisa, according to the Mishnah Berurah, he says that it's commendable but not obligatory to allow a Levi to bench. And that's how he reads. And a lot of the posts can talk about what does this Gemara say. So Aram Rutenberg, quoted by the Torah, actually says that he has a different gears in the Gemara. V'lo nachti Yisrael levarach, not lefanai, not in front of me, the Levi. Lefanav means it's part of that last statement. I never let the Yisrael bench in front of a Kohen either. I didn't let a Levi or Yisrael go, even if he was a Talmud Chacham. Apparently, that's what it seems to be saying. And so that would be a different way of reading it. Ayin Sham, interesting stuff. Rav Yehuda ben Pazi says that if a Kohen is in the shul and doesn't duchen, he's over an aseh. Again, the Bavli says the same thing. Then there's machlokas in the Yerushalmi whether he has to actually step out or if he ties something on his head and shows that he's sick and weak and that's why he's not going up. Is that sufficient? Then it says that an ir shekula kohanim kulam nosin eskapeim. They all duchen. Now the Bavli actually says that one person should wait and answer amen. The Yerushalmi, it's not clear. Some of the Mefarshim say that it argues. Some of them say it doesn't argue, etc. Now, I want to say an interesting ha'ara that I think is very interesting, and that is that it says, but then if all the Kohanim are making a bracha, who are they actually? If all of them are duchani and no one's down there, then who are they giving a bracha to? So it says a very interesting lashon. Who are they giving a bracha to? La'acheim shebetzafon, to their brothers in the north. La'acheim shebedaron, to their brothers in the south. La'acheim shebemizrach, to their brothers in the east. La'acheim shebemarav. Do you see my question? Just say La'acheim shebetzafon, daron, marav, mizrach u'marav. Why do you have to say Acheim? But I believe that is the pshat. How are they still friends with all these brothers? Because they recognize that they're different. There's people in the north, they have their customs. People in the south, people in the east, people in the west. By recognizing that they're individuals, that's what keeps the friendship alive. When we recognize and celebrate the individuality of each person. Okay, and last thing I want to say for this parak is Hashem, Amar Menachem Bar Yitzchak. He says that if there's one Kohen there, then you call him up and you say, instead of Kohanim, you say Kohen. And if there are two, you say Kohanim. Rav Chizda argues and says, no, even if there's one Kohen, you say Kohanim because you're calling the Shevet, and whoever's there is there. Now, the Bavli holds that if there's only one Kohen, you don't call anyone. You don't mention anything. I've been in many small shuls where sometimes there is only one Kohen, so you don't call Kohanim. That's the halacha l'maisa, how most of us paskin. But the Yerushalmi holds not like the Bavli in Sota, but rather it holds that you actually always call them up. And last thing, we're going to Kates on Mevarchim. So it says that the last Gemara at the end of the page says, Aravavo, Siv, it says, right here, Hanenhin klum min olam mal ache tirulo mitzvos, that a person that eats, he has to make a bracha in order to acquire the food. So if you take a look at the Benayo, he has a very, very interesting shtickle. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but he basically says that the word bracha, which is a bracha, that's how we acquire the permission to eat. Hashem Aratzim Law, right? Hashem gives it to us. After we make a bracha. The letters that come after bracha are Gimel Shalo. 3 things become yours. So he claims that, I should say it more respectfully, he posits that there are 3 pleasures. I'm not sure how he includes all pleasures in this, but there's Achila, Shtia, and Levisha, how you drink. And now I understand those 3 things. Ishel, how that includes every single pleasure in the world. What happened to smell? What does he put that under? Is that achila because the body's consuming a pleasure? Look at the inuyim of Yom Kippur. I guess he would say that's all b'chlal achila because it's the body getting a pleasure. I'm not sure, but anyway, so he says that when you make a bracha, these gimel shalo, they become yours. And also he says that Hashem owns the whole world, olam, The word olam, actually, if you switch the letters based on the different gutturals and other pronunciations of them. So olam actually turns, the ayin turns into a hey. It's in the same family. The vav turns into a resh. The lamed turns into a chaf, and the mem turns into a beis. So it spells bracha. So Hashem gives us va'aretz nasan l'bnei adam. He gives us the olam when we make a bracha to Hashem, which is what the purpose of life is. We should get close to Hashem and make brachas. Thanks so much, and hatzlacha on the 6th parak.